As we take a look at the NFC East standings, sarcastically, you could say the NFC least the way it is right now, because the Eagles lead with a .500 record. No team above the break-even mark. The Giants are a half a game behind. The Cowboys only one behind the Eagles, tied with Arizona, and the Eagles play at Arizona later today as we look at Dave Campo in his second year as head coach.
Well, and Dave's certainly got his work cut out for him. You know, not only this ball game, but what he's been through to even get this football team to this situation today. They're on a 2-game win streak. He's doing it with a lot of young players, and to his credit, he's had these players playing very hard each and every week.
And Jim Fossil, who put it simply, he says we're not playing smart right now. And Fossil, a 3-game losing streak, trying to snap, but he has had success against the Dallas Cowboys. And this has been a terrific series in the last 4 games. The games have been decided by 8 points or less. So we'll see what today brings, as the Dallas Cowboys will get their hands on the ball first. Cowboys coming off the win over the Arizona Cardinals, 17-3. Chris Stoerner making his second NFL start, as the Cowboys had 3 different quarterbacks in 3 straight games, and now Stoerner is a repeat starter. Giants losing to the Redskins by a score of 35-21 after 2 tough 1-point losses to the Rams and the Eagles. So Morton Anderson, who is playing in his 300th career game, will kick off for the New York Giants, and back deep for the Cowboys, that's Reggie Swinton, a rookie from Murray State. Michael Wiley is also back there. Set to go, the field half in shadows. Temperatures in the mid-50s here in the second week of November. A great day. Anderson's kickoff end over end, and it's taken by Swinton at the 10-yard line. And Reggie Swinton, who did not play last week with a hamstring injury, brings it back 24 yards. The Dallas offensive line, and of course the key there is the left guard Larry Allen. Mark Stepnoski, the veteran. Page and Adams are the tackles. Rocket Ismail and Joey Galloway are the wide receivers. Hambrick in his first NFL start. Johnny Huggins, the fullback. And the tight end is Jackie Harris. So Clint Stoerner, in his second year out of the University of Arkansas, will begin from the 32. And the pitch goes to Hambrick, and his first carry of the game, and he'll lose a yard. And Michael Strahan quickly in to make the tackle as we take a look at the Giants. And Strahan off to a great start in getting to the quarterback, but Ross Kalaji, a rookie out of Wisconsin, will go against Larry Allen. Brandon Short, Mike Barrow, and Jesse Armstead are the linebackers. Armstead, questionable, is playing. Sehorn, Williams, Garnes, and the rookie Will Allen back in the starting lineup at cornerback. It'll be 2nd and 11, and Keith Hamilton missing for the 2nd straight week. And again Hambrick, and Hambrick won't get anything. No gain on the play. And Ross Kalaji, who is making his appearance, the 7th round draft choice from Wisconsin, bringing up 3rd down.
And that's the strength of this Giants defense. They are difficult to run the football against, and that's going to be the key today, because the one thing that Dallas has done well this season, they've struggled at the quarterback and the wide receiver position because of all the changes and new faces. And with that offensive line, they've been able to run the ball effectively, but that is the strength of this Giants defense.
3rd on 3rd downs, and the Giants very strong. The Cowboys have struggled, and they need 11 yards. Darren Cheverini is in. There are 3 wide receivers for Stoerner, who has time and completes to Rocket Ismail, and a 1st down near midfield. So terrific protection that time, and a gain of 17 yards and a Cowboy 1st down.
First of all, you got to take a look at Michael Strahan coming off your screen there. That's Solomon Page, number 77, that's going on one-on-one against him. Does a nice job with the protection. Then you got the route outside. Rocket Ismail running a comeback route is able to push Will Allen off and makes a nice play on that. And the Cowboys like the matchups that they have on the outside against some of these younger corners that the Giants have.
Cowboys go with 2 tight ends on first down on their 49, and Stoerner going outside to Ismail, who makes the catch and slips momentarily, and a pickup of 2 yards.
And I think that's going to be one of the big things today, Dick. You just mentioned slips on the outside, and this football field from the numbers out to the sideline is not in the greatest shape in the world. You saw in the long pass to Rocket Ishmael, you saw Will Allen slip at the top of that route. I think the advantage goes to the receiver because he knows when he's coming out of that break, and it's going to be important for these corners to be able to keep their footing and break on the football.
2nd and 8 on the Giants side of the midfield line. Stoerner with a short drop, and he completes it to Johnny Huggins, and the former tight end playing fullback, getting 5 yards, and Sam guards the Giants' strong safety on the stop.
Yeah, and that's a move that the Cowboys had to make when it became clear that Emmitt Smith was not going to be starting at the tailback position. Troy Hambrick, who had been playing fullback, then was moved to tailback, and they had to bring Johnny Huggins, who has been playing tight end, into that fullback spot. That's an area that he's not all that comfortable with, and I'd look for them to maybe use more 2 tight end package and keep a fullback out of the game.
So here we are with another 3rd down situation, but this time the Cowboys need only 3. Stoerner again with time, and he will run for it, and he won't make it as Michael Strahan makes the tackle, stopping Stoerner for no gain and bringing up 4th down in a punting situation.
Well, and Clint, in that situation, had plenty of time to throw the football, just was unable to find anybody down the field to get open, and you don't normally see a quarterback sitting back there with that kind of time against a defensive front like the New York Giants have.
And they were able to get a tremendous amount of pressure against the St. Louis Rams with just those down 4. And right now, Dallas is controlling the line of scrimmage. Look for the Giants to bring some pressure the next time that defense comes out.
Micah Noor will kick from the 40-yard line. And a deep kick. Barber was back, but this kick will bounce out of the end zone for a touchback. Well, the Cowboys barely get in Giant territory, and the Giants will get their first possession. Picks up yet another sack. That's 13.5 on the year. That's more than 11 teams in the NFL, including the Dallas Cowboys, and an NFL record for a 6-game stretch. So first down for the Giants on the 20-yard line. And the quick out to Ike Hilliard, and Hilliard gets about 6 yards on first down. The Giant offensive line: Lomas Brown, Glenn Parker, Dusty Ziegler, Ron Stone, and Luke Pettigrew. Amani Toomer and Juravicius at wide receiver, although we saw Hilliard on the first play. Tiki Barber with Greg Camella, the fullback, and Howard Cross, the tight end. Kerry Collins, 17-13 as a starting quarterback with the Giants. Needing 4 yards. Getting away from pressure and looking for somebody, and then steps out of bounds, chased there by Brandon Noble. So a loss of 2 yards on the play as we check out the Dallas Cowboys defensive unit, and that has been their strength. The defensive line: Pepe Zellner, Brandon Noble, Michael Myers, and Greg Ellis. Dexter Coakley and the rookie Marcus Steele, who moved into the lineup last week, and the middle linebacker Dat Wynn. Mario Edwards and Duan Hawthorne the corners, and George Teague and the superb Darren Woodson are the safeties. Bringing up 3rd and 6. Out of the shotgun is Kerry Collins. He's got time, and this pass is tipped, and closest to it was Darren Woodson. And that'll bring up 4th down. So the crowd already with an opinion on the Giant 3 and out on their first possession.
Well, they know that this is a football team that has really struggled offensively. You look at the 2 losses that they had to St. Louis and Philadelphia. Offensively, they were not getting it done. Last week, it was just a complete meltdown by the entire team. And then they come out and 3 and out in this particular situation, and that's not how you want to get started.
Not at all, Troy, because this team right now is lacking in confidence, as teams would be after losing 3 in a row. Rodney Williams with the kick, end over end, and it will be bouncing out of bounds. at about the 31-yard line. That was a 43-yard kick by Williams. The Cowboys go back to work with the ball. And the Cowboys, a 2-game winning streak, and you have to go back to the beginning of the '99 season when they started the year going 3-0. Kind of unheard of considering what the Cowboy tradition has been.
Well, and the biggest thing, you come into this game, who would have thought that the Dallas Cowboys would be entering this game on a 2-game winning streak, and the New York Giants, after all they've accomplished, would be entering this game on a 3-game losing streak.
Packers on a streak. They're leading 7-0. First down from the 31. Stoerner gets pressure, but completes the pass to the 45-yard line to Mike Lucky, and the tight end makes the catch for the first down. Now, you talk about Stoerner getting his 2nd straight start, and in the last couple of years under Dave Campo, he's had a slew of quarterbacks, beginning with you.
Well, it began with me, you're right, and Randall Cunningham and Anthony Wright also played last year, and then this year you got Quincy Carter and Anthony Wright also played, and now Clint Stoerner playing, and that doesn't even include Tony Banks, who they projected as their starter in training camp and didn't even make the football team.
And waiting in the wings is Ryan Leaf, and the pitch going to Troy Hambrook, and Hambrook with a good piece of running gets about 7 yards. What does it mean overall to an offensive team that has had so many changes at merry-go-round at quarterback?
Well, what happens is it's very difficult to develop any type of consistency. This is a football team right now that ranks dead last in the National Football League in passing, and it's hard to develop relationships with receivers, not even to mention that the quarterbacks have been coming in and out. But Rocket Ismail and Joey Galloway, their 2 starting wide receivers, there's been very few games in the last 2 years that these 2 guys have been on the field at the same time.
Thus the lowest right now passing offense. So 2nd down and 4, and Hambrook stopped at the line of scrimmage by Ross Kalaji and Mike Barrow, and that will bring up 3rd down as the Cowboys bring in extra receivers for Clint Stoerner, who's so far perfect on the day at 4 for 4.
Well, the thing that Clint is not going to do, or at least what he has not done when he's gotten his opportunities in last week's start and then in previous games, he's not a guy who's going to try to force the ball a lot. He's very aware of where his people are underneath, and he wants to come down to the checkdowns and make the defense beat them.
3rd down and 5 out of the shotgun, and movement in the line, and it looked like Flozell Adams might have flinched. Here is Bernie Kukar, our referee, and the first penalty of the afternoon.
Flozell flinched, but I think Kenny Holmes enticed him to move, so that will be against the defense and Kenny Holmes.
Offside, neutral infraction, number 90 of the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So costly penalty there. So instead of keeping the Cowboys at bay, Holmes penalty, and Dallas with a first.
Right here is Kenny Holmes. You'll see he'll flinch a little bit. That's what causes Flozell to move. He gets into that neutral zone, and this is what Jim Fossil is talking about. He's disappointed in his team not playing smart football, giving them a free first down, a team that really has struggled on 3rd down all year.
Cowboys on the Giant 43. Rocket Ismail in motion, and Hambrook with a head of steam, and he picks up 3 on the play as we check in with James Brown in Los Angeles for a break.
Hey, Dick, take a look at Brett Favre and Antonio Freeman to the left. Freeman avoiding the jam of Rondé Barber. Favre pumping right, coming back left, hooking up, capping a 7-play, 57-yard drive. Pack on top of the Bucs early, 7-0. Back to Dick, Troy, and Daryl.
All right, JB, and in the NFC Central, I guess the key will be when one of the contenders wins a game on the road. Yeah,
and that's been the biggest thing when you look at that division, the teams being unable to win on the road, and what a race that's going to end up being.
2nd down and 7 from the 40-yard line, and there is Stoerner again with time, and his pass over the middle to Jackie Harris. The Giants seem to have coverage on Harris, but he managed to grab the ball, and a pickup of 27 yards. Brandon Short, the linebacker, on the coverage.
Well, Dick, one of the things they've had problems doing is getting the ball into Jackie Harris's hands. He's only got 1 reception on the year. He does a nice job there of getting up the field and giving Clint Stoerner somewhere to throw the football. Jackie Harris going up and making a play, and he's running that on Brandon Short. Pretty good matchup, but really a nice route by Jackie Harris.
And his first catch was just last week against the Cardinals. 1st and 10 at the 12. Cowboys threaten here in the first quarter, and here is Hambrook trying to go outside and dives inside the 10 for a gain of 4. Sam Garnes coming up to make the play.
You take a look at Troy Hambrook and what he is able to do. Really somewhat of a surprise player in that he was on the team last year. He was a practice squad guy. Then he came up and got activated, did some good things late in the year, and from training camp on, he continues to impress his staff.
And they were looking for a chance to get him some rhythm in running the ball, and he does with Smith out. Here is Hambrook. Hambrook getting inside the 5-yard line and short of the first down by a couple. Garnes and Barrow making the stop. So Hambrook, who is from Savannah State and the brother of Darren Hambrook, the linebacker who was released last week along with Kareem Larimore, and also he is the cousin of former big league pitcher Jim Mudcat Grant of the Minnesota Twins and Indians. Grant pitched in the World Series, and we know Game 7 coming up tonight. 3rd and 2. This is where the Giants excel in the red zone, and here is Hambrook, and he is stopped short of the first down, and Sam Garnes already has several tackles, and 4th down and short coming up for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and this is an area where the Cowboys have really struggled this year. They are able to move the football, but it seems like once they get inside the red zone, they just have been unable to punch it in and get touchdowns. And that's really been the reason that they have not won more games than what they've won. They've had to rely too many times on Tim Cedar kicking field goals and not getting touchdowns.
And to be successful in the red zone, you've got to be able to run the football. And with this offensive line and Troy Hambrook, you would expect to see a team have a little bit more success in this area.
All right, the 22-yard field goal attempt by Cedar, and it is good. So the Cowboy offense bogs down, but Stoerner does a pretty good job. He was on the mark, and Dallas comes away with a 3-0 lead. Cowboys jump over the Giants 3-0 with 3:15 remaining in the first quarter on Cedar's field goal. And now Mike Knorr will kick off a 9-play 65-yard drive. Jackie Harris's reception the key. Kickoff is short and picked up by Damon Washington. So not a pretty kickoff, but the Giants couldn't get anything going, and they will be inside the 15 when they start their second possession.
For Bottler, be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper.
Well, you remember when they played with leather helmets? Well, they still wear them at games. And
Is that your helmet from Pop Warner, Dick?
You wore that, right, Dick?
the old Madden team, yeah, right. From the old Madden team first year. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line, and the pitch to Ron Dane, and Dane will lose yardage there, and the tackle is made by Greg Ellis.
You take a look here at Greg Ellis, the left defensive end. He's going to work up the field. He knows that they're trying to get outside and hook him, and he's able to get up the field and make a nice play on that. And Greg Ellis is really having a pretty good year. He's been able to get some pressure on the quarterback. He's playing the run pretty well, and he's blended into this new defensive system that the Cowboys have put in very nicely.
2nd down and 11, and Kerry Collins to throw, and the pass caught close to the first down marker. Joe Juravicius with the reception.
Well, the result of that last running play is not going to really help Kerry Collins, because Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator for the Giants, feels he's at his best when they have a balanced attack. They're able to move the chains and get some yards running the football, and all of a sudden he kind of falls into a rhythm, gets good footwork. But right now they have struggled in the running game so far today with only really the one run, and they really abandoned it last week against Washington.
Yeah, 15 runs in all, and only 3 in the second half when they were trailing by 3 points. And there goes the pass to Ike Hilliard, and Hilliard bringing it out close to the 30-yard line, and a gain of 6 yards on the coverage. Mario Edwards. Today's game is being seen live around the world by the U.S. servicemen and women throughout the facilities of the American Forces Television Service. All America salutes you and greatly appreciates what you do for our country.
You know, when you talk about Kerry Collins, and one of the areas that the coaches feel like he really needs to improve is in mechanics, and they spent a lot of time this week trying to get those things straightened out.
Here's an example of nearly an interception, and that might have taken it all the way. Dewan Hawthorne nearly picked off that pass, and that will bring up third down.
One of the things that Dave Campbell wants to see his young corners do is be aggressive. Believe in what you see. You've studied the film, you've practiced. Watch Dewan Hawthorne get a jump on this play. Even with the play action, that is what he wants. They haven't had interceptions, and he feels the reason is because they're playing conservative. He wants them to be a little bit more aggressive. That's a good sign for this Dallas secondary with that play right there.
Giants line up with 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 4. Collins out of the shotgun, and pressure coming in from behind, and Collins loses the ball. It is a fumble, and the Cowboys recover. Brandon Noble. It was Byron Frisch, number 90, who came from the outside to force it, and Noble on the recovery, and the Dallas Cowboys threatening again deep in Giant territory.
Well, you got Brian Frisch out on the outside. He's going to work up the field and then come back in on Kerry Collins there. Kerry's got to be able to feel that and step up into the pocket and avoid it. It's something that happened in last week's ball game against the Washington Redskins, and a nice break for the Dallas Cowboys and a nice job by Brandon Noble finding the ball.
The Cowboys forced 4 turnovers against Arizona last week, and now force one here, and now Jim Fossil going over to talk to the referee, referee Bernie Kukar, and there will be a challenge here.
New York is challenging the ruling on a field of a fumble.
I think the thing that was after that play, you saw the excitement on the sideline. We'll get a chance to see right here and see if Kerry's hand was going forward. That's I don't know if Ty goes to the runner in that situation, or
yeah, I don't think that he was. I think the ball was back, and it was beginning. He was at a position where he wanted to start that motion, but I don't know that the motion ever got going forward. I don't know that there's enough there for them to overturn that call. Take another look. He's back there, and just that's a fumble.
If there is indisputable evidence that the ball was knocked away before he started his arm forward, then the Giants would win the challenge, and a critical one it would be, even at this juncture of the game with 1:06 to go in the first quarter. The Giants have been successful on 2 of 3 challenges this season. For a while, Jim Fossil couldn't buy a challenge victory in the last several years.
Well, you can see here Sean Payton, the offensive coordinator, along with Jim Fossil, they're looking at the photos that come down from the press box. They're relayed down onto the field in between series. As you're able to go over and look at each play.
After reviewing the play stands and calls. It is a fumble. First down Dallas. Timeout New York.
Good point, Troy. Not enough to overturn the ruling on the field that it was a fumble, so the Giants charged with a timeout. And the Cowboys leading the conference in most fumble recoveries, and they now are sitting in pretty good shape, Moose, on the Giant 15.
Well, right now some things are happening in this football game that are very distressing to Giants fans. Number one, the Cowboys getting pressure with just their down 4, not having to pressure with blitzes, and they are not able to match this young Cowboys emotional team.
1st and 10 at the 15. Stoerner gives to Hambrick, and Hambrick going wide, and Sean Williams comes in to make the tackle in a 1-yard loss. So once again, the Cowboys, who had to settle for 3 in their first venture into the Giant red zone.
Well, you take a look. Here's Jackie Harris. He's in motion. He's going to come back here. His job is to try to hook the defensive end and allow Troy Hambrick to get to the outside. He does that effectively, but Sean Williams, as a safety, is able to fill the gap and make the play.
Giants with 2 hard tackling safeties in their secondary, bringing up 2nd and 11. Here comes the blitz. Stoerner going to the end zone all alone, and it is caught. Touchdown by Joey Galloway. Galloway had beaten the Giant defender Will Allen, and the 16-yard touchdown pass, and the Cowboys now lead it 9-0.
Well, the Giants have been unsuccessful with their front four, so they're going to run a blitz. You're going to get two linebackers coming up into the middle. Watch your running back step up and do a nice job of getting Clint Stoerner the time to get the ball down the field to Joey Galloway.
Yeah, and then on the outside, you got Joey Galloway working. He's making a double move there to the post, completely fools Will Allen for the touchdown. And, you know, you talk about Troy Hambrick and his pass protection, and that was an area coming into this game that the Cowboys were concerned about. Did a nice job there.
And Tim Cedar does a nice job in converting. And with 19 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Cowboys taking advantage of Collins' fumble now lead 10-0. Touchdown reception of the year, beating the Giant rookie Will Allen. And the Cowboys leading 10-0 as Micah Noor kicking off to Ron Dixon. Dixon with a terrific return for the Giants to try to give them some impetus, and a penalty marker is down at the 30-yard line. A 41-yard return by Dixon, and the kicker Micah Noor ran him out of bounds, but Bernie Kukar has signals that there is a holding penalty against the Giants.
Take a look at that last scoring drive. You got Rocket Ismail here. He's going to take this safety and corner out of there, and you've got Joey Galloway working here on a double move to the post. He's going to get across Will Allen's face. Nothing but open field there, and Clint Stoerner gets the ball out in front of him.
And we talked about the blitz pickup earlier, but also Michael Strahan on the outside. Watch Jonathan Huggins here, just a little bit of help for Solomon Page. And when you got a guy out there that can dominate a game, you got to give your tackle some help.
First down for the Giants after the penalty to the 20-yard line, and the pass to Greg Camella, the fullback, who makes the reception, good for 8 yards. And that will do it as time runs down. That is the end of the first quarter with the score. Surprisingly, the Cowboys leading the Giants 10-0. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Giants Stadium as we begin the second quarter. Those are the first quarter numbers. Giants -1 rushing. Dallas already 99 total yards. Second down and 2 from the 28-yard line as the Cowboys lead 10-0. Collins gets hit, and his pass, and making a terrific catch is Amani Toomer, who stayed in bounds. There's a flag down as well. So Toomer having to go over his shoulder to make the reception, but a penalty marker down. And the flag will go against the Giants. Ineligible receiver could be the call here.
Ineligible members of the passing team, the entire interior line was downfield. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Well, the big thing is this is a double move on the outside. You'll see Kerry Collins come out and pump, and then he goes back, and yeah, they're all getting down down the field a little bit right there. So take your pick on that one.
Second down and 7 from the 23-yard line, and Collins to throw again, and this pass is intercepted. And Dexter Coakley, for the second straight week, picks one off and runs it in for the touchdown. 29 yards on this time. So now we can say Dexter Coakley has more touchdowns than Emmitt Smith so far this year.
Well, he just does a nice job of reading the route and undercutting the play. You take a look at him right here, Dexter Coakley, your linebacker, and he's going to see that Dan Campbell, the tight end, works up, and he undercuts him. Kerry doesn't see him, and it's a touchdown. A tight end on that play, a tight end has got to be able to push up on the linebacker and not allow that guy to come underneath him.
And this crowd is stunned and befuddled by what they've seen thus far. Tim Cedar for the extra point. It is good, and the Dallas Cowboys have taken a 17-0 lead over the Giants. Who would have ever thought we've had this development in November in the NFC East? The Dallas Cowboys leading the New York Giants 17-0 with less than a minute gone in the second quarter. Dexter Coakley with an interception return for a touchdown for the second straight week. Micah Noor kicking off, and Ron Dixon in the end zone on the return for the Giants. And he is knocked down and still on his feet, and he gets to the 17-yard line. But Giants still going to have to put a harness on their obvious frustration as the Dallas Cowboys have taken it to the Giants, the defending Super Bowl champions. And the Giants have an uphill climb for a team that's trying to run the ball and really get back into the running game. This is not the way you want to do it down by 17, but you got to do it.
Well, and each time they've started with their field position, it's been less than ideal. They've not had great field position, and then they've been unable to do anything with it. And now they're in a game much like they were last week, down 17 points today, where they were down 14 points to Washington a week ago.
From the 19, handoff Tiki Barber, and Barber gets about 5 yards. Hawthorne on the tackle. Well, it was last week. Couldn't make an easier interception.
No, this one was handed to him pretty much. Nobody in the area. He gets a gift and was able to take it in for a touchdown. The one today is a little bit differently. Dan Campbell there, and Dan has got to be able to push up on Dexter Coakley and get him back on his heels before he comes out of that route. He was unable to, and as you saw, Dexter Coakley hit that with full speed and was able to undercut it for the interception.
So the Cowboys defense making its mark with a forced fumble and a pick. Second down and 5 for Collins from the 24, and the screen pass to Tiki Barber, and he is tackled by Brandon Noble for a 2-yard loss. So let's look at the scoreboard, not the points, but the Dallas Cowboys touchdowns this season. And you'll see there Dexter Coakley and Joey Galloway, both of whom have scored in this game, lead with 2 in the rest. Of course, Emmett not playing today, but he's played this year. Nothing.
Yeah, there's Tim Cedar, your kicker. Dexter Coakley on your defense, and Emmitt Smith nowhere on that list right now, which is a huge surprise considering what he's done throughout his career.
Yeah, in fact, the only 2 rushing touchdowns are by Tim Cedar, a kicker, and then Clint Stoerner last week as a quarterback.
3rd and 7 out of the shotgun, and the blitz, and Izell Reese. Nobody picked Izell Reese, the cornerback, up, and Kerry Collins is buried.
Well, you got Izell Reese. Here he comes right here. He's going to come off the bottom of your screen, and this is what Kerry Collins has to be able to see. He's got to feel the pressure that's coming, and he's not been able to do that. He didn't feel it earlier when he fumbled the ball with the guy knocking it out of his hand, and he certainly doesn't feel it here. And this one was on his front side, and as a quarterback, you got to know when it's coming and where people are.
Rodney Williams with the punt, and it's a good one, and sending Reggie Swinton back. Swinton from the 25-yard line. And Damon Washington on the tackle, a 57-yard kick. And here is Izell Reese going in untouched to bury Collins. It's been all Cowboys.
Collins did not even see the blitz coming from the other side. The reason is they've got slot receivers here. Here's Darren Woodson. That's a big key for them. They're expecting the blitz there, but here it comes from the other side with Izell Reese and Dewan Hawthorne. So Kerry Collins gets locked into the other side, and he doesn't even see the Dallas adjustment, and a big hit by Izell Reese.
Cowboys from the 35, 2 tight ends, Harris and Mike Lucky. Stoerner, with the comfort of a 17-0 lead, hands to Troy Hambrick, who picks up 5 yards. Barrow on the stop as we check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, it didn't show on the Cowboys' last offensive touchdown, but a lot of the receivers very unhappy with the field. The part of the field closest to the Cowboys' sideline is very slick. In fact, it's just downright awful. So a lot of guys changed their shoes. They stayed with the standard size spike, but did change their shoes. But the way things are going, Dick, they might have to find something else to complain about. Back to you.
Yeah, they may need slippers before long with a 17-0 lead the way they're sailing. 2nd and 5 at the 40 for the Cowboys. And here is Hambrick, 2 yards short of the first down. It's game break time, and we'll check in with JB.
Hey, Dick, I know Troy.
All right, JB, thank you very much. And the Dallas Cowboys now with a 3rd down and 2 on their 43. Stoerner with the handoff to Hambrick, and Hambrick is stopped short of the first down. No gain on the play. And that will bring up 4th down. Well, Troy, you're in the booth now. This is the first time you've had a Dallas Cowboy game. What's it like seeing your former team from above?
No, it's great to have seen some of the guys that I played with. You know, it's a whole different roster, and you know the way that this game has gone was much like the game last week for the New York Giants, and they're just right now getting outplayed in every facet of this ball game.
Tell you, Dallas playing inspired on both sides of the ball, but the defense especially moves.
Well, that's going to be the key. You know, they're going to win their football games with good defense and good play on special teams. But the most important thing is right now, don't get conservative. You've got your 17 points, but it's still early in this football game. This is a very explosive Giant offense when they want to be.
Nor kicking it out of the end zone. And with nearly 5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter, 17-0 Dallas. Suite presented by Budweiser, the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, and great pitchers Roger Clemens and Kurt Schilling. And let's go back and look at some of the 7-game heroes in the deciding game. Some are household names like Joe Morgan and Willie Stargell. Some are not, like Darryl Porter or Edgar Renteria. So who will wear the halo and be the hero tonight? Find out on Fox. Ron Dane on the first down picks up 5 yards. So now the Giants in a 17-0 hole, and what do they have to do?
Well, I think that's exactly what they got to do, is what they just did on that play there. They've got to start running the football. There was so much talk about last week. They abandoned the run a little bit too early. They tried opening things up a little too much offensively. This football team is still going to have success running the football and taking some of the pressure off of Kerry Collins.
Ron Dane in the game and carries again and picks up 3 yards with Marcus Steele, the rookie from Southern California, the outside linebacker. So the Giants have not run the ball much so far, Moose. It's been mostly pass, more than 2-to-1 ratio.
And they started off with 3 straight passes on that opening series. So, you know, the intent at the beginning was not really to make a commitment to the running game. And now 17-0. You hope that their hand hasn't been forced by this Dallas defense.
3rd and 2 from the Giant 28. Tiki Barber replaces Dane. And Collins loses the ball, fumble, and the Giants recover. So thus far, Ron Stone, the right guard, picking up the loose ball, and it was Greg Ellis who jarred it loose. So 3 sacks, a couple of fumbles, 1 loss.
Dick, you take a look. They got 3 wides here and a wide receiver here, a 4-wide set with 1 back in the backfield, and it doesn't give them much protection, as you see there. They come free, and Kerry is not given much time back there. Again, Greg Ellis applying great pressure in the pocket, and a big part of that is because they spread everybody out, but then you only have 5 guys in to block.
Dallas defense has been tremendous thus far, and Rodney Williams with the long punt, the big one, sending Reggie Swinton back inside the 10. And Swinton is tackled inside the 20-yard line. A 57-yard punt by Rodney Williams, and Dhani Jones on the tackle downfield. Collins sacked 4 times, lost a fumble, and threw an interception that resulted in a touchdown. And for that, you can give kudos to the Dallas Cowboy inspired defense.
Well, watching the Dallas Cowboys on film, they have not been able to generate a lot of pressure with just their down 4. They've kind of, you know, they'll rush and play back in zone. When they do get pressure is when they're blitzing with linebackers and safeties. But today, both of those sacks have come off of just the pressure from the 4 down linemen.
First down for the Cowboys on the 19. Clint Stoerner. Pass is caught by Rocket Ismail and out of bounds. Close to the first down, and they may have it. Cowboys starting out 0-4 on the regular season, and then defeated the Washington Redskins in anything but an exciting, it was a lackluster game to say the least, winning 9-7, and then a win against Arizona after the bye week. And coming in just 1 game behind the Eagles in the NFC East. First down, Dallas. From the 29. Stoerner going to Ismail, and the Rocket has it, and gets a few extra yards, and let's see if he stepped out of bounds, and he did at the 46-yard line. So Clint Stoerner gaining more and more confidence and now limping as he comes upfield. That was a 25-yard completion.
Well, you take a look. You got a safety here and a corner here, and Rocket's going to get in that hole right in there, and that should not happen. When you're throwing a fade route into a rolled corner with cover 2 look, that ball should never be completed, but yet it was, and it's a poor job by the safety of getting over there.
And this is why Clint was limping after this play. Watch after the throw. Michael Strahan comes in, rolls up on the back of that leg. We'll have to keep an eye on Clint and see if he's okay.
The pitch to Troy Hambrick, and Hambrick cutting outside with a first down and knocked out of bounds by Sean Williams. So Troy Hambrick in his first NFL start, getting 14 yards on the outside and a first down on the Giant 32.
Well, and that's the thing that Troy Hambrick provides this football team. He's got tremendous quickness and strength for a big guy, and he's able to get out on the corner, which is something that as Emmett has aged, he's had a tougher time getting on the corner. They're able to run some routes. He's able to bounce some things, and he does a really nice job of getting on the corner and turning it upfield and making yards. 7 yards per play for the Cowboys. First down at the 33-yard line, and Stoerner again getting time going for Galloway, who is double covered in the end zone by Sam Garnes and rookie William Peterson, who has replaced Will Allen at the other cornerback spot for the Giants. Well, I think the thing that's happening, Dick, is the thing that the New York Giants did not want to see happen, and that is that this Cowboys football team is gaining confidence, and in particular Clint Stoerner's gaining confidence, and this is only his second start. He was able to win last week against Arizona, and the more that he's able to move this football team down the field and have success, the more confident he's going to become, and the Giants are going to have to really start watching out thin.
And keep Ryan Lee on the bench. 2nd and 10, Hambrick off the right side, picking up maybe a yard on the play. So as Troy had mentioned, Ryan Leaf, the former San Diego Charger, the 2nd pick in the draft a couple of years ago, there he is. The intention of the Cowboys to get him into the flow and get him into the game, but you can't get him in there yet.
Well, they want to evaluate him, and they're not sure exactly when that's going to be, if it's going to be today or next week, but they know that it has to take place before Quincy Carter comes back from his hamstring injury. And if there was any chance for him to get into the game today, he would. But with a lead like this, it looks like he may not get a chance today either.
Blitz on 3rd down, and Stoerner fakes a pass and goes out of bounds at the 24-yard line as Sean Williams and Cornelius Griffin chasing Stoerner, bringing up 4th down and the field goal try. So Stoerner doing a heady job in his 2nd consecutive start at quarterback.
He's showing a lot of savvy out there for just a guy making his 2nd NFL start. And you know, I thought it was interesting. The one thing that they had to work with him was he always wants to go down the field with the ball. Usually in a situation like that, you have a quarterback that likes to check down and play it safe, but Dave Campo and Clint Stoerner both worried about getting the ball downfield too much.
47-yard field goal attempt is short. Cedars career high, as you saw, 48 yards, and so the Giants do not allow any more points, and with 5:11 to go, the Giants will get the ball back and they'll have good field position. Well, next week the NFL on Fox. Game 1 of our doubleheader, the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons for the viewers in our area, and in the second half of our doubleheader next week, it'll be the Minnesota Vikings and Philadelphia Eagles. First down at the 37 for the Giants. Ron Dane breaks a tackle, breaks 2, and gets a first down. Hawthorne finally brings down the former Heisman Trophy winner from Wisconsin.
I think that's the thing that they're going to have to do in order to get back into this ball game. They can't abandon the running game as early as what they did a week ago. And before that carry, Tiki Barber and Ron Dane combined had 4 carries for 12 yards. So even when they had run the ball, they had not been real effective. They've got to do a better job on first down when they get those opportunities of getting positive yards.
And here comes the blitz possibility, and a pass to Hilliard, who is hit immediately by Mario Edwards, the cornerback. And Hilliard had all he could do to hold on to that ball. It results in a 1-yard loss
Well, and I don't know if we've talked about it enough, but I don't like this play. You see every team in the league that has now started throwing this because of what the St. Louis Rams were able to do a couple of years ago, and I rarely ever see it go for anything more than what it went for right there.
Except if you have the Ram receivers on the carpet.
That doesn't hurt.
Greg Camella going in motion to the top, and on play action, Collins has time, and Amani Toomer is there to make the reception and whistled out of bounds at about the 5 by George Teague. So the Giants wake up in a 48-yard play, and they're threatening to get on the board themselves.
Well, it starts with the protection, and they do a nice job here. It's max protection look, and Kerry knows exactly where he's going with the football. No indecision on his part. Amani Toomer working up against the rolled coverage with George Teague's unable to get back outside. Amani does a nice job of running the route in the hole in the weakness of that zone, and Kerry Collins spots him and gets him the ball. 9
catches over 100 yards and a touchdown for Toomer last week. First and goal from the 4, and this pass is caught. Touchdown, Joe Juravicius. So the big strike to Toomer, and then Kerry Collins hitting Joe Juravicius from 4 yards out, and the Giants.
Well, you got Joe Juravicius, who's 6'5", working against Dwan Hawthorne, who's 5'10", and what they have is a fade stop. You watch him here; they look like they're going to throw the fade. Kerry throws it on his outside shoulder, his back shoulder, and that's a very difficult pass to defend.
And Morton Anderson for the extra point, and the kick is good. So with 3:22 to go in the first half, the Giants show some life for the first time today. Juravicius from Collins, and it's 17-7 Cowboys, who had a great preseason and comes into the game as the second leading receiver for the Giants with his second TD catch. Hawthorne covering him on the play, and so Kerry Collins, who has been under siege all day today with the 4-play 63-yard drive. And the Giants will now kick off.
Well, and Kerry Collins, what he does so well is that he's at his best when he's got some rhythm and he's able to step up in the pocket, know where he's going to throw the football, and that's what happened on the 2 pass plays that he had on that drive, especially the one to Amani Toomer.
Here is Morton Anderson's kick, and it's Reggie Swinton. And it takes 3 Giants to bring Swinton down at the 33-yard line with 3:11 to go.
This is a young Dallas Cowboy team, and you've seen how emotional they've been. You saw it on film last week in the first part of this football game today. But now it's going to be interesting to see how they respond. Everything has gone their way up until this point. They have an opportunity to extend their lead. They miss a makeable field goal, and the Giants turn right around, go down and get a touchdown to get it to 17-7. So this is going to say a lot about this Cowboy football team right now, this offensive drive.
Clint Stoerner and the Cowboys starting from the 33. Pitch to Hambrick with Huggins blocking, and Hambrick going out of bounds, stopping the clock after picking up 2 with 3:05 on the clock.
Johnny Huggins is doing a nice job at fullback up until this point, and it's very difficult for a guy who's been a tight end his whole career and all of a sudden gets forced into the backfield because it's such a different type of blocking. It's a totally different style, and he's doing a good job. He got a nice block on Michael Barrow on that last one right there to get Troy Hambrick around that corner.
Remember when Marshall Faulk was hurt and Trunk Candidate got his chance, made the most of it with 195 yards when the Rams came in here to play the New York Jets. So Hambrick getting his chance. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 35. Stoerner looking to throw and getting away from Strahan, but he can't get away from them all. And down he goes, and the 25, and the 2nd Giants sack of the game. A big loss of 10.
Well, they open the floodgates there. You got Michael Strahan working off of Solomon Page. He's the one who first gets the pressure on Stoerner, disrupts his tempo, and then you've got them all coming in. Cornelius Griffith and Ross Kalajay Strahan gets back into the mix. A lot of pressure there by that front four.
Griffin was there. Holmes was there.
They're all there.
Yeah, they're all there. That's the idea. 3rd and 18. From the shotgun, pump fake by Stoerner, and the pass tipped. And trying to dive for the one-handed interception is Sam Garnes on the pass. So it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not going to let Michael Strahan get back and get there again. Michael Wiley, the back that's in on 3rd down, keeps an eye on Michael Strahan. But Solomon Page, let Michael Strahan come to you. He's got to come to you to get to the quarterback. Right now, he is attacking him. He's getting his head too far forward, and Michael will go past you in the blink of an eye if you continue to chase him.
Tiki Barber looking to return this punt with 2:02 to go. And we should have the 2-minute warning after this return, as Micah Noor's kick goes out of bounds with 1:54 on the clock, and the Giants will have decent field position at the 36-yard line when we come back. More involved than he has been.
Yeah, and that started last week, and you're right. Sean Payton still is calling the plays, very much the offensive coordinator. But Jim Fossa was unhappy with what happened in those 2 games against St. Louis and Philadelphia, and he wanted to take a more hands-on approach. And what he has instructed these coaches to do is start taking care of the little things and the fundamentals.
Giants with the 2 timeouts remaining on the 36-yard line in their own territory, and Collins' pass is caught by Toomer, and Toomer gets out of bounds to stop the clock and gets good yardage. Well, coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have all the scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats. Dick Stockton along with Troy Aikman, Moose Johnston, Pam Oliver here at Giant Stadium. A surprise thus far, but the Giants trying to rally in the late stages of the half. 2nd down and 3, and here comes the blitz again, and reading it perfectly, the pass to Tiki Barber, who goes out of bounds after a 12-yard pickup and stops the clock at 1:44 left.
Well, here you got Darren Woodson, number 28, the safety for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to come off the corner, and you got Joe Jurevicius, and Sean Payton does a nice job on that particular play of keeping 2 backs in. Even though Jurevicius is a receiver, he brought him into the backfield to pick up the blitzing safety from Darren Woodson and allowed Kerry to get the ball off and complete the pass.
And here's the handoff to Tiki Barber. And Barber very nearly broke a longer gain. He gets 4 yards. And Darren Woodson and then Greg Ellis on the play. Clock running, under a minute and a half to go in the half. Giants already at the line of scrimmage have called the play. They have 2 timeouts left to the Giants. Protection. Hilliard, 1st down at the 33. And the Giants are going to hurry it up as the clock continues to run.
Well, there's still plenty of time for them. They got 2 timeouts left, and they work on this. The Giants offense works on this 2-minute offense every single week.
They went to the no huddle last week against the Redskins, and lofting it up for Amani Toomer, and covered downfield by Mario Edwards. Pass is incomplete, and the clock stops with 52 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and I like that call right there. They did not call timeout after the previous completion, and so you've got the Dallas Cowboys defense a little bit on their heels and not sure exactly what's going to happen. They don't have a time to huddle up and decide whether or not they want to blitz, and so a really good call there by Kerry Collins and trying to take a shot to Amani Toomer in the end zone while the Cowboys were in a little disarray.
Giants have not scored a touchdown in the final 2 minutes this year, a half. And there's another interception, and it's picked off by Mario Edwards. And Edwards has blockers, and Edwards will score. 71 yards, no flags on the field. So Kerry Collins throws his 2nd interception and return for the touchdown. And the Dallas Cowboys get 6 more.
Well, you see Kerry Collins, he comes back, he wants to throw the slant, on the outside. Mario Edwards read that the entire way. He jumped in front of Amani Toomer. You watch it right here. Mario Edwards was expecting and anticipating the slant. That's exactly what Kerry threw to him. It doesn't get any easier for that for a defensive cornerback.
So the 71-yard finish by Edwards with Hawthorne, and a celebratory mood for the Cowboys, as you would expect. Tim Cedar on for the extra point. The kick is good. And what a change of complexion of this game. The Giants trying to narrow a 10-point deficit. Instead, the Cowboys have now opened up a 17-point lead again. 24-7 the score. We'll be right back. Back into it. Now are in shock again as Mike Honor kicking off Ron Dixon from the goal line, returning for the Giants. Dixon still on his feet and loses the ball, fumbles, and the official signal as they unpile.
And let me tell you who
Cowboys
just made that
recover.
hit. That was Darren Woodson, and that's one of the things that goes on in Dallas. Your starters are asked to play special teams. Darren Woodson, a huge play at the end of this half.
Can it get any worse for the Giants?
You'll see, we'll try and find Darren. He's going to come in right at the end and put a big hit on Ron Dixon. Watch him come in from the right of your screen. Helmet right on the ball. That's a great job. He's out there to be the safety. He makes a ton of tackles. But Joe Avezzano asks his starters. He wants the 11 best guys on each unit on special teams. He doesn't care if you're a starter or a role player.
So Lynn Scott recovered the fumble, clearly forced by Darren Woodson. So Joe Avezzano, and last night Dave Campo said, the one thing I'll tell you, our special teams will be aggressive, as they always are.
Well, and they are. They're not only aggressive every year, but they are very well coached, and they're coached on the fundamentals. And year in and year out, you've got a lot of different players that are coming in and being asked to be playing on the special teams. And Joe Avezzano does as good a job as anybody in this league getting that group of guys ready to play.
Now Dallas with a chance to score more, and Hambrick with the running play. They still have 3 timeouts remaining, and the Cowboys will use one here after the 3-yard gain. 22 seconds to go in the half, and the Cowboys close to field goal range right now. Super Bowl, but now they are trailing 24-7 late in the first half. Mahoney Jones in at linebacker for Jesse Armstead. 2nd down and 7. Here is Hambrick. Hambrick still on his feet, bullying his way for the first down. And 15 seconds to go, and the Cowboys will use their 2nd timeout with 14 on the clock.
Well, I'll tell you this, Dick, that you watch this, and this New York Giants defensive football team is they're an awfully solid group. And forget the fact that Keith Hamilton is not playing today. This has been a group, both offensively and defensively, that to me has just looked very uninspired. There's no reason that the Dallas Cowboys should be able to run the football as effectively as what they have in some of these drives and move the football. It reminds me a lot of what I saw last week with this Giants team against the Washington Redskins. And to me, it just doesn't make any sense, especially after they've lost 3 games in a row.
And that was John Fox, the coordinator right there, and he echoes those sentiments. He was very disappointed in the way his team played in the second half last week against Washington. He felt they had some breakdowns at certain times, but right now, I think it's a little bit deeper because they're just getting flat out beat. They took some chances last week, got beat on some trick plays. Today, they're just getting beat.
Hambrick has 49 yards and 17 carries and is going to get a chance for more. And Hambrick will slip, and Michael Barrow lands on top as no gain on the play. 5 seconds to go, and they're going to let the clock run down as the Cowboys will try for the field goal.
Now, wouldn't you have wanted to have taken a shot into the end zone at some point on that drive, Troy? I mean, I know you don't want to give up the 3 points, but surprised to see the Cowboys play that conservative.
They're up 24-7. Working.
I think follow up with your point, Moose, is that, yeah, in normal circumstances, you would expect a team to at least take 1, maybe 2 shots into the end zone. I think when you're talking about a young quarterback like Clint Stoerner, they know they got 3 in the bag, and they don't want to do anything foolish that'll jeopardize that.
A 34-yard field goal attempt by Tim Cedar with 1 second to go, and the kick is no good.
Well, they didn't have 3 in the bag.
Well, the crowd still giving the Giants an earful as the Cowboys leading 24-7. That is the end of the shocking first half here at Giant Stadium. The Cowboys lead the Giants 24-7. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox.